Reading Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chevam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Udhiriyate. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भागवते उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नष्टिके. Hare Krishna everyone. Today we are reading from Canto 10, Chapter 11, The Childhood Pastime of Krishna, verse 37 to 59. In this text 37, in this way Krishna and Balram, acting like small boys and talking in half-broken language, gave transcendental pleasure to all the inhabitants of Raja. In due course of time, they become old enough to take care of the cows. Text 38. Not far away from their residential quarters, both Krishna and Balram, equipped with all kind of playthings, played with other cowherd boys and began to tend the small cows. Text 39-40. Sometime Krishna and Balram would play on their flutes. Sometime they would throw ropes and stone devised for getting fruits from the trees. Sometime they would throw only stones, and sometime their ankle bells tinkling. They would play football with fruits like bale and amlaki. Sometimes they would cover themselves with blankets and imitate cows and bulls and fight with one another, roaring loudly, and sometimes they would imitate the voice of the animals. In this way, they enjoyed sporting, exactly like two ordinary human children. Text 41. One day, while Rama and Krishna, along with their playmates, were tending the calves on the bank of the river Yamuna, another demon arrived there, desiring to kill them. Text 42. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead saw that the demon had assumed the form of a calf and entered among the group of other calves, he pointed out to Baldev, "Here is another demon." Then he very slowly approached the demon, as if he did not understood the demon intentions. Text 43. Therefore, Sri Krishna caught the demon by the hind legs and tail, twirled the demon whole body very strongly until the demon was dead, and threw him into the top of a kapita tree, which then fell down along with the body of the demon who had assumed a great form. Text 44. Upon seeing the dead body of the demon, all the cowherd boys exclaimed, "Well done, Krishna. Very good, very good. Thank you." In the upper planetary system, all the demigods were pleased, and therefore they showered flowers on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 45. After the killing of the demon, Krishna and Balram finished their breakfast in the morning, and while continuing to take care of the calves, they wandered here and there. Krishna and Balram, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who maintained the entire creation, now took charge of the calves as if cowherd boys. Text 49. One day, all the boys, including Krishna and Balram, each boy taking his own group of calves, brought the calves to a reservoir of water, desiring to allow them to drink. After the animal drank water, the boys drank water there also. Text 47. Right by the reservoir, the boys saw a gigantic body resembling a mountain peak broken and struck down by a thunderbolt. They were afraid even to see such a huge living being. Text 48. That great bodied demon was named Bakasura. He had assumed the body of a duck with a very sharp beak. Having come there, he immediately swallowed Krishna. Text 49. When Balram and the other boys saw that Krishna had been devoured by the gigantic duck, they become almost unconscious, like sense without life. Text 50. Krishna, who was the father of the Lord Brahma, but who was acting as the son of a cowherd man, became like fire, burning the root of the demon throat. And the demon Bakasura immediately disgorged him. When the demon saw that Krishna, although having been swallowed, was unharmed, he immediately attacked Krishna again with his sharp beak. Text 51. When Krishna, the leader of the Vaishnavas, saw that the demon Bakasura, the friend of Kamsa, was endeavoring to attack him, with his arms he captured the demon by the two halves of the beak, and in the presence of all the cowherd boys, Krishna very easily bifurcated him, as a child split a blade of Viran, Virana grass. By thus killing the demon, Krishna very much pleased the denizens of heaven. Text 52. At that time, the celestial denizens of the higher planetary system showered Malika Pushpa, flower grown in the Kanan upon Krishna, the enemy of Bakasura. They also congratulated him by sounding celestial cattle drums and conch shells and by offering prayers. Seeing this, the cowherd boys were struck with wonder. Text 53. Just as the senses are pacified when consciousness and life return, so when Krishna was freed from their danger, all the boys, including Balram, thought that their life had been restored. They embraced Krishna in good consciousness, and then they collected their own calves and returned to Vrajbhumi, where they declared the incident loudly. Text 54. When the cowherd men and women heard about the killing of Bakasura in the forest, they were very much astonished. Upon seeing Krishna and hearing the story, they received Krishna very eagerly, thinking that Krishna and the other boys had returned from the mouth of death. Thus they looked upon Krishna and the boys with silent eyes, not wanting to turn their eyes aside now that the boys were safe. Text 55. The cowherd men, headed by Nand Maharaj, began to contemplate. It is very astonishing that although this boy Krishna has many times faced many varied causes of death, by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it was these causes of fear that were killed instead of him. Text 56. Although the cause of death, the Daityas were very fierce, they could not kill this boy Krishna, rather because they came to kill innocent boys. As soon as they approached, they themselves were killed, exactly like flies attacking a fire. Text 57. The words of person in full knowledge of Brahman never become untrue. It is very wonderful that whatever Garga Muni predicted, we are now actually experiencing in all detail. Text 58. In this way, all the cowherd men headed by Nand Maharaj enjoyed topics about the pastime of Krishna and Balram with great transcendental pleasure, and they could not even perceive material tribulations. Text 59. In this way, Krishna and Balram passed their childhood age in the Vraj Bhumi by engaging in the activities of childish play, such as playing hide and seek, constructing a make believe bridge on the ocean, and the jumping here and there like monkey. Thank you so much, Mataji. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Pratyush Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Sri Krishna Das Prabhuji. Please accept our humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Prabhuji, please take over the call. Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Radharani Mataji. Thank you, Pratyush Prabhu, for reading Srimad Bhagavatam today. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yogam Sikshashtamekam Purusha Puranam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sariradari Krupambuditamaham Prapadye. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langete girim yatkrupatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today we are continuing the childhood pastimes of Krishna and Balram. So as we can see, that when Krishna was in Gokul, there were several demons They came, and Putana, and then the demon, when the Yamala Arjuna trees fell, it created a big news in the Gokul. Everybody were talking about it, and some children were actually telling the cowhead man that I actually saw that two beautiful men came out of these trees. Like that, there were news spreading all over. And then the Nanda Maharaj also just consulted with his senior men, and then they decided that Gokul is not appropriate place. There's so many demons are coming and disturbing us. So because Krishna wanted to enjoy the pastimes in Vrindavan along with Govardhan mountain, so all of that naturally happened like that. So and then they decided that they have to pack up and leave, go to Vrindavan. So which is very beautiful. There is Yamuna river, and there is also Govardhan mountain. So it's very congenial for the cowherd man, because the cows need grass, and there's so much grass around the Govardhan, and also there is water in the Yamuna river. So upon making this decision, they basically agreed in the counseling. So there were several people who made the decision, including Upananda, the senior most person in the village. So in this way, they just left Gokul and entered Vrindavan. So they were very pleased to see in the Vrindavan the Yamuna river, Govardhan mountain, all the wonderful flora and fauna. So we can see. So when they left Gokul, it wasn't like a lot of preparation. In just a day or two, they were able to pack up everything and leave in the bullock carts. They were such simple villagers, without any. All their houses also, it looks like they only built all their houses. They just left, and then starting today, the verse number 27, we can see how Krishna and Balram pastimes are being described here. So what is mentioned here is, these were the childhood pastimes when Krishna and Balram below 6 years, and then after 6, when they reach the Pauganda age, when they reach the Pauganda age, they started taking care of the calves. So they were actually in charge of the calves, and they can actually take care of the calves, tend them, take them to forest, take them to places where there are nice grass, keep them protected from dangers like that. And then evening they have to take them, bring them back to the village quarters. So like that, they were officially in charge. So, so here we can see that Prabhupada is also saying that in those days, the Vaishyas or Kshatriyas, they're all trained appropriately. They were not like given schooling until schooling and then college, and then they have to search for jobs. They had their natural jobs. They were very simple, and they used to, if there are Vaishyas, they used to take care of agriculture, cows, and then if they have any extra, grains, they would trade like that. So it's very simple living. So nowadays also, if you go to Pennsylvania, there are people who just don't go to schools after 7 or 8. They go until 8th grade. After that, they take care of their furniture business, agriculture. There are people who are like that. So here also we can see that they are actually just grown up, and then they were taking care of cows. So Krishna and Balram. This was a system of education during the Vedic times. Everyone was living not just to make a lot of money by going into the system of education, but they just wanted to have some kind of a living at the same time. They want to focus on Krishna consciousness. So here, Lord Krishna himself, who is Supreme Personality of Godhead, so he also appeared as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, even though even though Kshatriya, but for God, he is not either Kshatriya or he is not Vaishya, right? So he is basically now he is growing up as a son of Nanda Maharaj, who happen to be Vaishyas. So he is just following their the family tradition here. So Prabhupada is saying there was no need to waste time going to school to be falsely educated and later increase the number of unemployed. so so nowadays there are a lot of unemployed people who don't have jobs, but if they take up agriculture or any natural occupation, there is no need to wait for jobs. So and then later on, when Krishna and Balram were at the Pauganda age, they were able to take care of the cows. Now Nanda Maharaj and they all decided, okay, now they will take care of the cows. So now the beautiful pastimes of how Krishna and Balram they used to go to forest, they used to play. All of that is being described here. So very beautiful. Kwachit Padai Kinkinibi. So this is like they were with their ankle bells. They were actually imitating a lot of these animals they were found in this forest. Like generally the bulls, bulls fighting and the cows and then the cuckoo birds, like that they were imitating a lot of these animals, peacocks, so like that. And then so here it is said that ankrutya rutair jantums cheratu parakrutau yataha. So there are just they were enjoying the sporting, just like two ordinary children, just like two ordinary human children. But this is the source of the whole soul of the whole universe is playing with these kids. So they were mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam itself that krita punya, like because of so much piety, pious activities in previous lifetimes, all of these boys were able to associate with Krishna. So here the Vrindavan is a lot of peacocks, is full of peacocks. Even now, if you go to Vrindavan, you can see a lot of peacocks. So here it is mentioned, Kujat Kokil Hamsa Sharasa Gana Kirne Mayura Kule. So here the Vrindavan is basically full of cuckoos, ducks, swans, peacocks, cranes, monkeys, bulls, cows. So Krishna and Balram were imitating all of these sounds and they are enjoying the sporting with the children. So and then so here it is mentioned that every day, Prabhupada mentions that every day there are some, Krishna and Balram would go with the boys and they would take their lunch box and they would do some sportive activities. They will take bath in Yamuna river and then they will play some sportive games. Like that every day there'll be some playing happening, and also every day there are some demons, they'll come and try to attack Krishna, and then Krishna would actually kill them, and then the boys would enjoy these sportive activities. So this was an everyday affair, even though this was a dangerous to witness, but because of Krishna, their fear was actually, instead of increasing their anxiety, it is actually giving them pleasure. The boys, the gopas, were actually taking pleasure from this activity because Krishna was in full control. So that's why later on in this chapter itself, it was said that Nanda Maharaj also contemplated, and there's so many demons coming and Krishna killing, all of this news. Instead of increasing our fear, it is reducing our fear because Krishna is in full control. And then he was also thinking about Gargamuni predicted, actually, Lord Vishnu himself is actually appeared in your house. You should take care of him nicely. Like, so he was contemplating on Gargamuni's prediction, and he was saying how Vaishnava's sayings never go in vain. So like this, Nanda Maharaj also thinking. So like this, every day there were some sportive activities and there were some demons coming in and Krishna killing. So here there were a couple of instances being mentioned, Bakasura, and there was another demon mentioned here. So here we can see when the boys were playing, there were one demon who actually mixed with the boys, and then Krishna actually understood, and he was giving a sign to Baldev. So here is another demon. he's in the form of a calf, but then actually he's a demon. So Krishna is Mugdha Eva, like Krishna, although Krishna knows everything, so he just plays in such a way that it's a perfect leela, perfect pastime. So he doesn't, in any situation, he doesn't reveal he knows it. So like that, so he's just giving a sign to Balram. Okay, here is look, here is actually a calf, but he's actually a demon. So Balram understood, and then as soon as there's an opportunity, Krishna caught hold of the hind legs, and then the swill the demon very strong. Now this demon fell into what's called a kapita tree. So kapita tree, here it says about this is a wood apple. This is like a Feronia limonia. It's a wood apple. There is a fruit pulp inside. So in this pastime, all of the boys and Krishna, they wanted to eat this kapita fruit. So to make this happen, Krishna threw him on top of the kapita tree. All the fruits fell down, and then all of the boys enjoyed this. It's kind of a sweet and sour taste. All of the gopas, they enjoyed this fruit. So like this, Krishna also facilitates whatever the boys desire. Krishna facilitates, and then it manifests, and they all enjoy. Just like in the other Talavan forest, the boys wanted to eat the Talavan fruit, so Krishna facilitated like that. So here also it happened. So here it's mentioned that Devascha Parishantushtu. So Devas, the demigods, are also, they were witnessing, and they were very, very much pleased. And the boys were saying, "Well done, Krishna, very good, thank you." And then in the demigods, the Devaloka also, the demigods were very pleased, and they were also Babuvaha Pushpa Varshinaha. So they were also flowering flowers, the showering flowers on top of Krishna, and they were also appreciating all these pastimes. So, and then after this, when the calf demon was killed, and then Krishna and Balram, they were taking their breakfast, and then they were taking care of the cows. Now, so one instance it was mentioned here that whenever the boys were playing, whenever the boys were busy in taking some sportive activities, the calves were actually, Krishna was also taking care of the calves, so that the boys were actually take play, and then they take part in the playful activities. So Krishna is fully in charge, meaning when the boys were on the forest, Krishna is fully in charge to making sure that they are actually engaging in this pastimes without any anxiety of taking care of the calves. So this was so Prabhupada is mentioning here that this did not hamper his daily affairs, for it was a routine work. So whatever Krishna does, he is enhancing the pleasure of the gopas, so that it is joyful for them to witness. It's not causing them any anxiety. So this was what Prabhupada's purport is mentioning. So and then one day, the pastime of killing Bakasura is also being mentioned in this like in this chapter. So one day they came to the reservoir of water. They are trying to drink water, and then they also let all the calves drink water. So it was mentioned Swamsam Vatsakulam Sarve पायिष्यन्त एकदा गत्वा जलशायभ्यासं पयायित्वा papurjalam. So they also, like calves also drank water. Now just right by this reservoir of water, the all the boys saw something very gigantic. It had like a peak, a very huge mountain peak, broken, and then they were actually like they were as if it was struck by a thunderbolt. They were so much scared, and they were so much afraid. It was a huge living entity, vajra nirbhinnam. So tatrashur vajra nirbhinnam. And then the huge bodied person is none other than Bakasura. So this Bakasura, on the order of Kamsha, he came to kill Krishna. Now he assumed the form of a big duck. So now with his sharp beak, he actually swallowed Krishna. So now witnessing all of this, this Bakasura swallowing Krishna, now the all the cowherd boys, they actually become fainted. They were so much in anxiety, they fainted. Um, so it is mentioned that when Balram also and the other boys also saw, they're almost unconscious, like senses without life. So the example given, so Drusva Ramadayo. So here it says Vina Pranam Vichetashaha. So Vina Pranam means without life. How the consciousness almost very much bewildered, almost unconscious, like that. So now this happened like for Rukmini also, during when Lord Krishna went and then he caught hold of Rukmini, and Rukmini, he was bringing back Rukmini to Dwaraka. That time also, when Lord Krishna was fighting, and sometimes it was appearing that Krishna was actually losing. At that time, Rukmini was also becoming unconscious. So because of that bewilderment, so the same kind of feeling here, the boys are also having same kind of feeling. They were bewildered by this Bakashura swallowing Krishna. So, and then now what happened? So, so when dealing with these demons, Prabhupada mentions that Krishna actually handles all of these demons in a very different ways. So Trinavarta, he chokes them and then, in the throat, and then he becomes so heavy that he could not carry Krishna. So and then for the cow demon, he the horse demon, the Keshi demon, Krishna actually puts his hand, it becomes so hot, and then in the throat. So like that, for each demon, Krishna handles differently. Like for each animal, for the bulls, they control using the nose. Like that, for each demon, Krishna handles differently. So in this case, the Bakashura, so the beak of the Bakasura, Krishna actually splits them into two by his power. So this is another way how he deals with the duck. So in the beak, so here, as soon as Krishna actually, the Bakasura swallowed Krishna, Krishna becomes so hot inside, and the Bakasura had to just got choked, and Krishna came out of his mouth. So this was how in so because Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Krishna has all the yogic powers. He manifests according to the each pastime. He manifests some of this yogic power, and he performs these pastimes. So now in this case, when there was so much heat and Bakashura could not actually do anything, he just disgorged Krishna out, and immediately all the boys were actually seeing. So immediately he started attacking Krishna. Now, so here Prabhupada says that um, although Krishna is as soft as lotus within the throat of Bakasura, he created a burning sensation of being hotter than fire. So, so although Krishna's whole body is sweeter than sugar candy, Bakasura tasted bitterness and therefore immediately vomited Krishna. Ye yatamam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajami aham. So when Krishna is accepted as enemy, so he becomes a most intolerable object for the non-devotee. So who cannot tolerate Krishna within and without. So here we can see Krishna. According to how we want to reciprocate, Krishna will reciprocate according to that. So as Vaishnavas, we are always trying to reciprocate with Krishna by taking shelter of Krishna and surrendering to Krishna. So that way Krishna also reciprocates in a sweet relationship. It can be either in Dashya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, or in Santaras. In all of these different rasas, devotees like to relish with Krishna, right? So here Bakasura came to fight with Krishna, and Krishna is also giving equally a good fight. So as soon as Krishna came out, Bakasura started attacking Krishna with his two halves, two beaks, and immediately Krishna captured his beak and then split them into half. So the example given is very nice example is given. So it says that Dadara Leelaya Mudavaho Viranavat Divik Divau Kasham. So from the demigods, the denizens of heaven, they were also witnessing. And it says Viranavat. Viranavat means just like you take a grass and then split them into half. Just like that, Krishna splitted Bakasura beak into two halves. So and then all of the denizens of demigods were very much pleased, and they were all showing Malika Pushpa, Tada Bakaram Suraloka Vashinaha, Shamakiran Nandana Malika Kadibi. So they were all throwing the flowers, Malika flowers, and they were showering upon Nandana Kanana. So that Lord Krishna they were showering and congratulating. So all of the cowherd boys were struck with wonder. They were by looking at this Vishish Mire, they were struck with wonder, and this was very Bakasura was so huge that even Brahma could not believe that Krishna actually killed Bakasura. So he was such a huge demon that all the cowherd boys also were very astonished. So so now previously it was mentioned that all of the boys were just like lifeless, unconscious. With now it is mentioned that Muktam Bakashyad Upalabhya Balaka. So now they are all, because of this released from Bakashura's mouth, Krishna actually killed Bakasura. They were all relieved. Now Pranam Ivendriya Gahanaha. So now it is the opposite of, as if the life came back and the consciousness came back, just like the senses are pacified. So now it is mentioned. So they all actually went and embraced Krishna, and they collected their calves and they went back to Vrajabhumi. So, and then when they went back, they were all telling everybody about what happened in the village, in the Vrindavan, how the Asura was killed. All this story they were singing like a poetry. So this is so here and then going on from verse number 54 onwards. So the cowherd men, they were very much astonished by hearing from the all the gopas, and they were also hearing the story. This is all Krishna Katha. So in the Vrindavan, everyone is relishing Krishna Katha. The boys were actually telling the cowherd men. Sometimes the cowherd man tells the boys. Like this, they were relishing Krishna Katha. Katayantascha mam tushyam tishyanti ja ramanti cha. They were enjoying and relishing Krishna Katha. So and later on, now Nanda Maharaj also, obviously in the entire village, everyone is talking. Nanda Maharaj also gets to know. So he also contemplated and he also thought, wow, how is this? This is so nice. By all these pastimes, we are actually, the Krishna is diminishing our fear. Instead of we are so many demons are coming, but instead of our fear increasing, actually Krishna by his full potency is diminishing our fear. So Nanda Maharaj could able to analyze the situation. So he concludes that how Garga Muni's prediction has actually come true. So and then finally this chapter is concluding saying that how Nanda Maharaj enjoying this pastimes of Krishna and Balram, and with so much pleasure. Rama Manascha, so he was basically enjoying life with so much affection towards Krishna and Balram that there is so much transcendental pleasure. Rama Katham, so this all this pastimes, there was so much pleasure. And then finally in the last verse that it was mentioned that how Krishna also playing hide and seek, and he was constructing a bridge on the just like bridge on the ocean and jumping here with monkeys. So all these pastimes were very beautiful, and it was giving pleasure to so much pleasure to the gopas and the cowherd man. So Hare Krishna. This concludes the today's verse. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai, Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Panchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya vachaha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, devotees.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare
Hari
Krishna.
Om,
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so
Thank
much, Prabhuji, for a very nice class. Hare Krishna to all devotees for joining the class today. Hare Krishna.